The Red Skull is back, and he has a new scheme.
I will steal the one thing that will win the war for us. Project Vanish. It's our enemy's most powerful secret weapon.
He also has a new country, I think. He's a Nazi. Why does he have a Russian accent?
But it shall be stolen right from under their very noses. By the special agent I've planted right in their prisoner of war compound.
I guess there's a prison camp at the base where this thing is. Where's this base again? It's hard to tell. I think that's either Aquilonia or Samaria because that map looks like it came from the Hyborian age.
It is time for you to try and escape.
No, they'll shoot me.
Those are orders from the Red Skull himself.
Halt, or I'll shoot.
Good. Now I will replace him on the supply truck.
Was it necessary to get him killed? Couldn't he just come down with a nasty old sniffle or something?
Thus, early the next morning, Private Steve Rogers and company mascot Bucky Barnes guard the new prison.
Now, I'll toss the hidden gas cylinder.
Prison security didn't used to be as tight as it is today. We can tell because our escapee has 3 more of those gas cylinders taped to his armpit. Also, why is Bucky one of the guards? He's not even an official member of the armed forces. He's a groupie.
Look here, over the wall. They've been knocked out by gas.
We're onto something big here, Bucky.
It's more than one escaped POW.
How right you are, American fools.
Holy cow! Your gun, it's gone.
He's got Project Vanish.
In our next episode, Steve will explain to his sergeant how the country's worst buck private knows about a top-secret project. Cap told Bucky to go get the army to deal with this, and here they come. Project Vanish is a disintegrator ray, and he's getting ready to point it at an approaching column of tanks. Yeah, she gets a stunt double, I don't. I have got to take a closer look at my contract.
He didn't go down.
Fire a warning shot.
Isn't a warning shot one that doesn't land right on his head?
I can't be defeated.
My leg. It's numb. I'm helpless.
And isn't a warning shot also not supposed to hit your own people? At least they're both in the same situation, except the other guy has a deadly weapon and Cap doesn't.
I'll take the tank force with me.
Clear that area. Condition red.
Ha! They are fleeing. Now the gun is mine.
Then take it. But don't set it to full intensity.
You fool! I wouldn't have thought of it. But now, with one full intensity blast...
Didn't that guy's mother ever read Brer Rabbit to him? Oh, please, please, please don't throw me in that briar patch. They never learn.
Bucky, quick! Over here! Bring my uniform!
I'm looking for that gold-bricking yard bird, Steve Rogers. How'd you beat him?
I knew that ray wasn't perfected for full intensity.
How does he know all this stuff? If the Sarge ever finds out who he really is, I hope we're all around to see it. After that little bit of excitement, Steve's unit is being sent back to the States for some R&R. Steve doesn't want it, but when a general tells you to go home and have fun, you go home. At least having fun is optional. He can be as miserable as he wants.
Gosh, Steve, why are you so against taking a rest?
Because the Red Skull and his leader never rest in their evil efforts to conquer the free world. And I can't rest as long as they are free to continue their ruthless tyranny. Get out of your uniform and get ready for action.
See? I told you having fun was optional. Then again, Captain America probably thinks getting torpedoed is fun.
But they are caught in the blast of another explosion within the doomed ship.
Okay, now it's not so fun. They're dazed, nobody knows they're on the ship, and it's going down.
The forward half is still afloat. Board it and bring any survivors to me.
The Red Skull just happened to be on the U-boat that torpedoed the transport ship that Captain America just happened to be on. What a remarkable set of coincidences.
This fun is heavy.
He has recovered. Open fire.
Stop, you fools! I want him taken alive!
Since he said to bring any survivors to him, you'd think these intellectual giants would have figured that out. Good help really is hard to find, especially for a Nazi with a weird mask. He hits Cap with some kind of nerve gas, and the next thing our hero knows, he's tied up in an interrogation chamber. Red Skull says he's holding Bucky as a hostage, so let's talk. Red Skull will go first.
Yet, I can remember when I had no power. Nothing. I was a weak, hungry orphan who was forced to steal food in order to live. But I was not successful as a thief. Most of my time was spent in jails.
Well, at least they feed you there. Maybe you could work out a deal.
My early years were no bed of roses. Would you like me to play hearts and flowers?
Men have died for speaking so flippantly to me.
Never interrupt the Red Skull when he's giving a poor little me soliloquy.
When our leader came to power, I was working as a bellboy in a hotel. As I watched my exact opposite, he had power, I had nothing. Later, I brought refreshments to his room.
I did my best.
So,
Failure is your best.
It's weird how they just called him our leader instead of putting the mustache on him and being true to the comics. There, they drew Hitler and called him by name. Why? I don't know why.
I could teach that bellboy to do better. You are nothing, but I am your leader. Yet the look in your eyes. You too hate all mankind. But an inspiration. You will be the greatest product of my genius.
He put the bellboy through some intense training, gave him the skull mask, and his former identity ceased to exist. He's the Red Skull for the rest of his life, and he's okay with that. Honestly, if I didn't have any scruples beyond self-service, I probably would be too. He has power, luxury, and direct access to one of the most powerful men in the world. Why wouldn't he be okay with it?
whenever there was injustice, tyranny, ruthlessness, the Red Skull was there, attacking the weak and helpless.
There are times when I regret my decision to keep politics out of my videos, but this isn't one of them. Attacking and oppressing the poor and weak is a human tradition that goes back as far as humanity can remember. Nobody has cornered the market on it.
Day by day, my power grew. Armies were destroyed. Cities were leveled at my command. No one was safe from my ruthlessness. Now, even the leader fears me.
Later, we'll see the leader tell him he has too much power. In the Marvel world, Hitler almost became second fiddle to the Red Skull, and more than once he took a crack at having him eliminated. But in the end, Hitler went down and the Red Skull was still standing. It's the kind of thing that makes you glad he wasn't a real person. That would be scary.
What's happening to me? My legs. I am spinning.
His legs are taking a beating this episode. What's happening is they shot him up with a special drug. Once he's unconscious, some lab guy does things to him, and now he's under the Red Skull's control, thoroughly brainwashed.
I am ready to obey your every command.
I show my obedience by saluting the Red Skull with the wrong hand. The Red Skull has a major assignment for him: assassinate the Supreme Allied Commander. That would be General Eisenhower, but again, we're not using real people's names, and I don't get it. They didn't need to get permission from anybody to use either name. Both are or were public figures, and as such, they're fair game. When the comics retold Cap's origin story later in the 60s, the creator of the serum wasn't named Erskine. He looked exactly like Albert Einstein, and they called him Professor Rhinestone. Marvel could get a little weird about this stuff sometimes.
Meanwhile, Bucky, who had been captured earlier, is led before a firing squad with other prisoners. How can he escape when Captain America himself, his one hope for rescue, is under the spell of the Red Skull?
When I said I prefer Captain America without Bucky, I didn't mean I want you to shoot him.
Ready! And fire!
Ha ha, big joke. Bucky doesn't think it's funny, and he intends to tell them so.
Suddenly, pandemonium breaks loose as a teenage tornado leads the prisoners against their captors.
Kill them, you fool! What has happened? What is going on?
Reinforcements. It's time to use this grenade. Now to find Cap.
I'm pretty sure that's a bad idea right now, but he doesn't know what's been happening.
Bucky, still searching for Cap, overhears Skull's plans.
That's what I wanted to know.
Our enemy will never expect us to parachute into the commander's headquarters.
Suddenly, one of the soldiers looks a little different, but not enough to make anybody suspicious. They parachute to the right spot, and Agent leads them into the headquarters building, and Bucky can't get through to Cap.
What? Captain America with the enemy? You're pointing that gun at me. No, not you.
I can't do it. Something's stopping me.
That something is called a conscience. The Red Skull never had one of those, so he failed to have his scientists account for such a thing.
The drug, it is wearing off. But he must do it, even if I do it for him. You made me miss!
He made you miss, and now you get to take a nap. Bucky will take the opportunity and help subdue these guys.
Caught in their own trap, the Skull soldiers soon surrender. And as the last of the captives are led away, Cap's explanation to the general reaches its conclusion.
Both our nation and I personally owe you a great debt.
Not at all, sir. We each serve freedom in our own way. And liberty is its own reward.
Don't it just get you right here? Ow. Captain America frequently waxed patriotic, not to say sappy like that. In the 40s, most people didn't consider it sappy because the threat to everything people held dear was very real, and a strong patriotic stance like that on everybody's part was going to be required to keep the bad guys from winning. Happily, that generation came through. If the Axis powers had won, it's questionable whether I'd be able to do this. For that matter, with those nutballs in charge, I question whether there would even be an internet. And then, these things wouldn't be good for anything but calling each other. And who does that?
When Captain America throws his mighty shield, all those who chose to oppose his shield must yield. If he's led to a fight and a duel is due, then the red and the white and the blue will come through when Captain America throws his mighty shield.